Hi guys, this is Lindsay with Follow the Rules, and I'm really excited to share my Halloween macaroons with you. I started by making mummy macaroons. The first step is to make the eyes. To do that, I pipe 2 large dots of flood consistency royal icing, and then in the center I pipe 2 small black dots, and then I just tap the macaroon on the counter to help settle the icing together. After those have dried for about 10 to 20 minutes and crusted over, I go back over the macaroon with the same white icing using a large tip, or you could use just a plastic bag and cut a large hole. And I just go over that with haphazard lines to form the cloth that would go over a mummy's face. And you can find the recipe for my royal icing on my blog at followtherules.com and just search for royal icing, and I give an in-depth tutorial on how to make the royal icing and how to get the different consistencies. And once all my lines are piped, I'm going to set those aside to let those harden, and then I'll go back over it with the same icing. So now that icing is hardened, I'm just going back over it to make more lines so it looks like all those pieces of cloth are overlapping. So the next cookie I made is a jack-o'-lantern cookie, and the first step here is to actually brush on some black icing. It could be flood consistency or piping consistency, and this will be the background for the jack-o'-lantern's face. And once the black icing is dry, which it will only take about 5 minutes or so, you can go over it with either a toothpick or a scribe tool like I'm using here and actually outline the face that you want to create. It's hard to tell, but you can actually see the marks that I'm making in the icing when you're up close. And then I'm going to go over it with orange flood consistency icing, outlining the eyes and the mouth first, and then outlining the entire macaroon and filling in the open spaces. And as you can see, I'm not very good at piping a circle, and that's okay, because once it's all filled in, this icing is fluid enough that you can actually move it around once it's on the cookie. And so you'll see me actually move that icing around to the edge of the cookie to make a perfect circle. And I prefer to move that icing around in circular motions. It just helps to make it look a little bit more clean and even. And you can also use that scribe tool or the toothpick to help define the teeth or any other areas of the cookie that need additional defining. And the next cookie I made was this spiderweb, which was my favorite. And the first step is to flood the entire top of the macaroon with black icing, and again that's just going around the edge with the icing and then filling it in and using the scribe tool or a toothpick to help even out that icing. And then I like to tap it or shake it to get out all the air bubbles and help settle that icing even more. Next I go with that white icing, the same white icing I used for the mummy. It's flood consistency icing with a smaller tip, and I make a circular design in the center of the macaroon while that black icing is still wet. with my scribe tool, I'm going to drag that icing out, first down the center, and then in quarters, and then in eighths, and that will make the spiderweb design. And you can either be done here, or you can pipe on lines to cover up those drag marks, which will help define that web even more. And once the icing is settled, you can add a little spider on top. And I actually went back and redid the spiders because I didn't like how I did them before. I'll explain to you how I did them the right way. This is the wrong way that you're seeing here. I took that same black icing and put it in a different bag and cut a very, very fine tip. And then I piped on the legs, and on top of the legs, I piped on the body and the head. The way I'm doing it here by dragging the icing out from the body just makes it look like a mess, so I wouldn't recommend that. I filled all the macaroons with a dark chocolate ganache. I thought that was appropriate for Halloween. I apologize if this is so messy, but this was the last of my chocolate ganache, so it didn't come out very well. But I really liked how these turned out. They were all so cute, and I think they're perfect for Halloween, so I hope you give them a try, and if you do, please tag me on Instagram or let me know, because I'd love to see your creations. And you can find all my recipes and more at followtherules.com. Thanks!